things are changing and evolving for sure in your space, right? Are you seeing new things pop into, the daily that are new challenges you have to solve that maybe, you have to really think about and sit back and like say, okay, how am I going to approach this?
Yeah. And so I think if you ask that question to 10 people, you're probably going to get 8 or 9 different answers. And that's because everyone's lens is different as to what they're seeing. One thing that's a common, though, is this technology kind of landscape we're in particular AI, is freaking a lot of people out.
Yes. Yep.
Where they should be repositioning that as, what can we do to leverage this?
100%. It's here regardless.
It is, but I think the misconception around it from the development side, people feel that that is a tool that might be replacing X, Y, and Z in particular people. So there's that. Really, it's a powerful tool that's used, and we invested, I'd say our biggest investment dollar-wise has probably been in AI over the last 2 years as to how to help augment systems to make our clients' lives a lot easier.
Right. Yep.
How to read a report faster, how to come up with some isolated IDPs, individual development plans, in a way that we can use the data that I'm all about metrics and numbers. See, a lot of people think, oh, training, it's HR. I'm like, no. If you don't have a business savviness to what you're doing and position it that way, it's never going to work.
100%. So, that right there is like tremendously important, because people will use it or try to use it to substitute the institutional knowledge that you have, right? And it's never going to be equal or the same.
So when I started my career, I started with Macy's, 800 Flowers, these corporate companies doing this. Then I wound up in a healthcare company that dealt with early intervention services, and that was back in the very early 2000s. And I was afraid I was going to fall into that trap of psychology, my undergrad and grad, and my doctorates in leadership. It's like all this psych stuff. And then the CEO of the company I worked with, John, he would constantly say to me, what are the margins? What do the numbers dictate? And I was like, that's not what I do. I'm all about the psychology of how someone feels. And, he's like, listen, piece of advice, you got to understand the business.
Right.
Otherwise, you'll have a short shelf life. Now, I worked for him for 11 years, learned a lot, and then started realizing the companies I work with now, I'm not interested in, someone took 18,000 online courses. Well, what does that mean?
Right.
Rather, the metric be, guess what? We've reduced our onboarding from 88 hours down to 42 hours.
Right.
That's a 50%, 52% increase. And because of that, we have X and Y dollars. So I think, how do you use systems now is a challenge for people to see it as this is a benefit for us, because now all this extra time, extra value, extra money that's back in our pocket can be used for additional growth that the company is needing to do.
Yep.
So instead of us being a vacuum and sucking out those dollars on things that aren't necessary, we customize and deliver all of our leadership and training so that it's very specific to what's going to match the KPIs of the company. So I think right now we're still seeing people doing it more because we have to do it. But AI certainly changed the game.
Yeah, for sure.